Ah, television. This is something I haven't intentionally watched for a long time. For several reasons. For one thing, there isn't anything that I'm interested in watching. I think television shows today are not as good as they used to be. Also, I don't care for the negative portrayals of men in the media. You hear all the time from feminists about negative portrayals of women in the media, or you'll hear about an ad that got pulled because it offended a few women. But I've yet to hear feminist outrage over the negative portrayals of men. So if you want to hear about how women are supposedly portrayed in a negative way, go watch a feminist video, okay? I, however, am talking about the other side of the story for once. The side that gets ignored. That's the purpose of this series. I am compiling and commenting on all the negative portrayals of men in the media that go on completely ignored. Just business as usual. It is important to understand that my main issue is not so much with the negative portrayal of men, it's mainly with the double standards. It's the fact that you can get away with portraying men this way, but the same exact ads would be unacceptable and would likely get pulled if the sexes were switched. That's my main issue. If it were not for this double standard, I wouldn't even bother making this series. The best example of this double standard is the portrayal of violence. When you see an ad about violence against women, the ad is saying that it is a bad thing. They are looking to stop that kind of violence. And the abuser is always portrayed as a male. And we usually don't even see the violence because that would be too horrible to show. But when a woman is violent with a man, we actually see the man getting slapped, kicked in the balls, punched, and it's not portrayed as a horrible thing, it's portrayed as funny. But feminists would rather complain about an ad showing a woman in a bathing suit having fun on the beach, or an ad where a man is flirting with a woman, than address these double standards against men in the media. So yes, even though I try to avoid television as much as possible, television doesn't always avoid me. Certain restaurants have televisions. When I'm waiting at the dentist office, there's a television there. Ads play on YouTube, and so on. Now I titled this video Misandry in the Media Parts 1 and 2 because the first two parts of this series were originally supposed to be one video. I had broken it into two parts so that each one would be under 15 minutes. But it turned out that right by that time I was able to upload longer than 15 minutes, but I figured since I already broke them into two parts, I'll just keep it that way. But now I'm putting parts 1 and 2 together as was originally intended. Also, I did not care at all for how Misandry in the Media Part 1 turned out. A lot of people misunderstood that video and I was still new to making videos. And even though I tried to clear up any misunderstandings in the video description, most people seemed to just ignore that and didn't even bother reading the video description. And when you make a series, usually the first video in that series gets the most attention. Makes sense. So I want my first video in this series to be stronger than what it was. So that is why I'm not only redoing parts 1 and 2, but combining them into one video. Any feminist will tell you how they think the media degrades women. What they won't tell you is how the media negatively portrays men. That's where I come in. It is very common to see men portrayed as clumsy, lazy slobs. I can give so many examples of these kinds of ads, despite the fact that I try to avoid television as much as possible. It is all too common to see an ad where a man is doing something stupid or disgusting, and then a woman catches him in the act. You'll see plenty of examples of that not only in this video, but throughout this entire series. Here's a Reebok commercial. As you can see, we have a man here, and he's at a women's gym, making an idiot out of himself. He's being clumsy while all the women are looking over at him like a weirdo. Imagine this exact same commercial with the sexes switched. You would never see an ad where a woman is tripping over herself in a gym full of men. Because in the media, only men are portrayed as the clumsy morons, whereas the women would never act foolish. It's a woman's world. You got that right. It isn't a man's world, that's for sure. But just think of all the feminist outrage there would be with a commercial that ended with the text, "It's a man's world." Ooh, this is patriarchy. Oh my god, take this commercial down. Then there's this Jolly Time popcorn commercial. So this guy is looking in the fridge, finds a stick of butter, and then what does he do? He starts eating it. Then the wife and the daughter come home, and they are just shocked and appalled by this slob. Now, again, let me be clear about something. I'm not saying this commercial is insulting all men just by portraying one man this way. That's something a feminist would do. You insult or criticize one woman, then you must be a misogynist who hates all women. So I'm not saying that. The two main issues I have are, number one, the frequency of such ads. There are so many ads that are like this. This is just one of many commercials where a woman catches a man doing something stupid or disgusting. And number two, the double standard. I've yet to see the sexes switched. Could you even imagine an ad where a woman is doing something stupid or gross and the father and son catch her in the act and give her that very same look? Because I have yet to see that. Here's yet another one like that. So a man goes out and sees a female plumber, and apparently he finds her attractive. So what does he do? He charges back inside the house and flushes a bunch of stuff down the toilet with the intention of clogging it so that the woman will come over. But his plan fails, and guess what happens next? A woman comes by and sees him doing this. It's always men doing something stupid and a woman catches him in the act. Would there ever be a commercial where a woman sees an attractive male plumber and does the very same thing to get him over, and a man catches her in the act? Of course not. If a woman is attracted to a man, she'll just wait for the man to come over to her. If a man is attracted to a woman, they're going to portray him as a moron who would do anything, no matter how stupid it is, to get her attention. You can easily find a whole plethora of ads like this without even trying. Like this Vonage ad. The man is in the background dancing like a schmuck while the woman is acting normal and looking over at the man like he's a weirdo. Only the woman is talking while the man says nothing and acts stupid, just like in this next commercial. This one is from Yoplait. The woman is naming a bunch of yogurt flavors, but the man thinks she's talking about the actual foods. So he fumbles around looking for the food, not realizing she's just talking about the flavors. It's a typical thing to see on TV nowadays. Man does something dumb, and the woman catches him and either gives him a weird look, or says something like, "What are you doing? Seriously?"
Babe, what are you doing?
Men are usually portrayed as an annoying burden to women, like in this ad.
You get twice the protein, you get this.
Thanks, but I just wanted twice the protein.
Feisty. Me likey.
Can you please stop flexing?
Nope.
Men are also used to represent pests, germs, and odors. In this commercial, a woman wakes up from her sleep because she has a cold, and guess who represents the mucus? A man wearing a green shirt that says mucus. This one is the Spanish version, but there is a commercial exactly like this in English as well.
You disgust me.
Prove it. Enough's enough.
You got that right. Enough is enough. Here we have a commercial for a mousetrap, and who else but a man is used to represent the rodent, the undesirable pest that needs to be disposed of. I guess in the world of television, mice and rats are single-sex animals. Now take a look at this iRobot commercial.
I don't know about you, but I live with a bunch of animals. My kids are pigs, and my husband is, as soon as I clean the house, it gets dirty again. That's why I have an iRobot Roomba. I just push one button, and it eliminates the daily grind of keeping the floors clean. So I can spend more time with my best friend.
Of course, everyone is a filthy animal except for the woman. Now, despite the fact that everyone is portrayed as a filthy animal except her, I know some feminists will try to say something like, well, this commercial is saying that it's the woman's job to clean, and that makes it sexist to women. No, they are not implying that cleaning is the woman's job, but it's only the woman who would care enough to do that. Because apparently, only men are filthy animals who are only good at making messes, but not cleaning them up. I'd rather be portrayed as a human being who likes to keep things clean, as opposed to a filthy animal who does nothing but make messes all day. And any feminists who make the claim that this commercial is really sexist to women, I wonder if they think the same way if the sexes were switched. If the wife was portrayed as a donkey, and the man was portrayed as a human being who wants to keep things neat. By their reasoning, they'd have to think that was sexist against men. But of course they wouldn't. And of course they wouldn't show an ad like this with the sexes switched, because women are not filthy animals, but apparently men are. Now, as I said before, there are individual ads that don't necessarily put men down directly, but I show them because they are part of a collective trend of commercials. As I showed you, here's one ad where a woman catches a man doing something stupid, and here's another, and another, etc. But some ads are just out in the open with their sexism. They'll flat out say something about how women are superior and how men are inferior.
Spokes. Superior shoes for the superior sex.
Here's one for Summer's Eve.
Hope they're serving meatloaf.
Ooh, hun. There's a stain on that shirt.
Oh. That's not
Good.
Men have their way of freshening up. And we have ours. Summer's Eve cleansing cloths. Gentle enough for sensitive skin and gynecologist tested, so you can feel fresh every day. By female standards, of course. Summer's Eve. Enjoy being a woman.
This commercial for a female product is putting men down. This is blatantly sexist. You heard what they said. Female standards, enjoy being a woman, men have their idea of freshening up and we have ours. You have the man with the stain on his shirt. Feminists try to ban commercials that they think are offensive to women. But not only would they not bother to try and ban a commercial like this, one that is clearly sexist to men, but they will actually try to shame you for calling attention to sexism against men. When feminists say they are just about equality, how can I take them seriously when they only focus on women, and should anybody bring up sexism against men, they use shaming tactics against them and try to make the issue about women again?
Hey, this commercial is offensive to women, let's ban it.
And here's a commercial that's sexist against men. If you're for equality, how come you don't take issue with this one too?
Oh, you're just a crybaby misogynist. You think an ad showing violence against men is more of an issue than an ad where a woman shows some cleavage?
Once again, let's switch the sexes. Imagine a commercial where a man and a woman are fixing a car together, but the woman is screwing everything up, and a male narrator says, "Women have their idea of fixing cars, and we have ours." And they said something about how male standards of fixing cars are superior to the female standards of doing it. Feminists would have a commercial like that banned faster than you can say double standard bullshit. These next commercials deal with road safety. Now, only men are shown to be the ones who do not buckle up. Newsflash, women aren't perfect. There are women out there who break the law too, you know. Can't you at least have one woman in your commercial getting a ticket? Or is that too much to ask? This is another click it or ticket commercial. Now, in this one, we see a bunch of men with their pants falling down. So not only don't they wear the seatbelts, but they are also having trouble with the belts for their pants. And if that wasn't offensive enough, let's pause the commercial right here. Notice the one time we see a female in this commercial, nothing is happening with her. As if no woman would ever be dumb enough to break the law. Because they are smart, unlike these men who would never wear a seatbelt. A reversal of the genders here would surely be considered sexist. Then of course you have the drunk driving commercials. Look who gets pulled over for the drunk driving. Of course they are all men, what else were you expecting? But not only are they all men, they are all white men. This commercial is both sexist and racist, but apparently it doesn't count as sexism or racism if it's against the white male. I can only imagine the outrage if they were all women, or all black people, or any other non-white race getting pulled over in this commercial. Why no women in this commercial? Is it possible that only men drive drunk? Well, that can't be it. There are females who drive drunk. In fact, this is on the increase.
There is a sobering new statistic from the Transportation Department. The number of women arrested for drunken driving jumped nearly 30% in the past decade.
Diane Schuler killed herself and 7 others when she drove her minivan the wrong way for nearly 2 miles before plowing into another car. Police say she was both drunk and high on marijuana. There's no data on why more women are drinking and driving.
But of course, that isn't a factor to consider when making a commercial like this.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight? Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Ever notice how it's okay to have stuff for women only, but not okay to have anything for men only? There is a company that insures women only, and in this commercial, you see a bunch of men acting stupid and driving off a cliff. They say that This is why we insure women only. Why? Is it common for a man to drive off a cliff? Is that a typical occurrence? Now tell us why you really insure women only and not base it on anything sexist. Oh yeah, wait. That's right. You can't. This commercial is about speeding. And as you can see, it's all men in the car and the poor women on the outside of the car at risk. This commercial is portraying men as the dangerous villains and women as the victims. Why does it have to be only men inside the car and only women outside of the car? This is especially insulting because when I'm driving, 10 times out of 10, it's a woman who speeds past me. So I know for a fact that there are plenty of women who speed too. However, only men are given this reputation as dangerous, fast, and reckless drivers. And you know what else? I am way more likely to see a woman on a cell phone while driving. Every time I'm on the road, I always see at least one female on a cell phone while driving. There is never a day when I don't see that. It's really annoying to have to see that all the time. Yes, I've seen some men on cell phones while driving as well, but I don't see that each and every day. It's only once in a while. From my observations, I would say, on average, I see at least 4 or 5 women doing that every day, and maybe 1 man per week at most. But I'm sure if they did a commercial about the dangers of talking on a cell phone while driving, regardless of any statistics, they will have only men. Sure enough, there is a public service announcement doing just that. Of course, they picked a man to demonstrate what not to do. You know, feminists are very quiet when it comes to sexism against men. They either say misandry doesn't exist, or is minimal at best. This is because they have a skill to make anything sound like it's sexist to women. There are feminists who take issue with women in ads that sell low-calorie or low-fat foods. They claim that it puts pressure on women to be thin.
Oh man, that is way too much pressure!
Believe it or not, these are the kinds of commercials I've seen feminists take issue with. But nobody's putting pressure on you. And eating healthy is not a bad thing anyway. As a matter of fact, eating healthy is a good thing. And it's usually women who are portrayed as the healthy eaters. I'd rather be in ads that portray me as a healthy eater rather than a slob who stuffs his face with greasy, unhealthy food. Just get a load of this ad and count the number of times men are talking with their mouths full and how many times women are talking with their mouths full.
This is one great hot dog. Yeah, hot dog is really good. That one is a little hard.
So while women are portrayed as healthy and civilized eaters, men are slobs who eat unhealthy foods. Feminists also complain whenever ads target mainly boys. If there's something that usually targets boys, they want to have it target girls too. Oh, Legos is so sexist. It shouldn't be just a boy thing. Video games should be for girls too, you know. Fine. But there are also ads for things like chocolate, yogurt, and cream cheese, which men can enjoy just as much as women, yet they only target women. And I kid you not, there have been several feminists who said chocolate ads like these objectify women because of the way they are licking the chocolate, even though nobody is licking the chocolate. They are just simply eating it. But it is interesting to note that when it comes to higher quality chocolate ads, you'll only see women. But cheaper and lower quality chocolate candy bars, on the other hand, you'll see men chomping away at those on TV. Now, I understand that advertisers want to target the market. I get that. The point I'm trying to make here is that when it comes to higher quality things, that's where you'll see more women. And when it comes to lower quality items, that's where you'll see more men. So you see, what I'm trying to do here is show the other side of the story. If you listen to the mainstream media, the only sexism you're going to hear about is the supposed sexism against women. This series is a response to the lack of reaction of the feminists when it comes to misandry. Now, a common response I get from the feminists is, well, men made these ads, so don't blame women. First of all, do you even know for a fact that men made all these commercials? Or are you just assuming that? And second of all, who said I blamed women for these commercials? I know I certainly never said that. Who made these ads is completely irrelevant. I'm addressing the content of the ads, and the double standards of what's considered sexist and what isn't. An ad where a man is getting kicked in the balls is still an ad where a man is getting kicked in the balls, whether that was a man's idea or a woman's idea. So anyway, for more examples of misandry in the media, take a look at the rest of my series. That is, if you feel you have the stomach for it.